too taboo.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another great episode of Revenue Hacks. Today, we're going to talk about the rise of hybrid hotels and alternative forms of accommodation. But before starting up, I want to say hi to all the regular guests and the new ones.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
And I have a couple of news to tell you. First of all, as you all know, we are the #3 hospitality podcast worldwide. So great results, and thanks everybody for contributing to that. And we just wanted to tell you that we are now in all the main podcast channels, including Google, Spotify, and iTunes. So if you missed the previous episodes of Revenue Hacks, make sure that you go back and listen to it. Before starting up, I wanted to tell you that on behalf of Raizup, we are collecting donations for Ukraine at this moment. So you will find a link during this live. Please help us to give and let's make a difference. All the donations that we are collecting, we have a goal of reaching €1,000 will be donated to the Red Cross to help the refugees and people in need right now. So thank you for your help on that. Okay, so now let's start. I will start with a quick round of the table for a quick introduction. Let's start from you, Anna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Sirba. I'm operations manager at Salcombe Harbour Hotel in Salcombe on Devon.
Thank you. Guillermo.
Hi, I'm Guillermo. I work as senior cluster revenue manager for edyn. And happy to see all of you.
Happy to see you too. Thibault.
Hi guys, so my name is Thibault Catala. I'm the founder and managing director of Catala Consulting, a revenue management company looking after outsourced revenue management for hotels across Europe. And we looked after a few hybrid projects across the US and Europe. So happy to be there and discussing this.
Thank you. And Frank.
Yep. Hi, so my name is Ayaba Frank, global sales specialist for Visionapartments. The headquarters is in Zurich, but presently I'm working from Romania, from Bucharest.
Thank you. And my name is Cantarella. You probably saw me during these revenue hacks. I've been in revenue management for 18 years now. I've been working mainly in chains and now overseeing independent hotels with my little company, which is Revenue Acrobats. So today we are talking about hybrid hotels and new forms of accommodation. So to start with, we all know that Airbnb revolutionized the hospitality industry as we know it, bringing the concept of live like a local through the travel industry by showcasing unique accommodations throughout the world and targeting a new type of customers. With the pandemic, we have seen a rise in alternative accommodation and hybrid hotels and new hospitality concepts developing, like two that are being represented today by Guillermo and Frank. And with Guillermo, I wanted to start with a question. So Guillermo, you work for edyn, and you make it very clear with your company that you aim to break the convention of a hotel stay. So while hotels are very rigid and they use very rigid set of rules and assumptions, you want to take, let's say, a distance from that because you want to concentrate with your product more on experience and really getting together with your customer. So tell us a little bit about this kind of concept that you're bringing forward and what you think are really the key selling points of your company.
Yeah, I think it's not that hotel industry is just really curricular. It's mostly that for edyn, or the importance of edyn has been to grow the loyalty through the hospitality experience, kind of being a soulful experience where we can welcome everyone. We have multiple opportunity for this different segment, different customer, that at the end they can find a space just not to live and not to work, to co-work, to all the what I think during the pandemic has been exposed as a major that is has to be to communicate as a person to each other. And I think that was the lack point of hotel industry, was focusing in short stay and really no interactive while Edyn as a company has tried to push itself into create this completely different atmosphere. So yeah, I think that the most important thing for Edyn will be to create this kind of environment at Mofeba where all the guests feel like they can have a part on the apart hotel or in the building. So yeah, I don't know if that solved your question at all.
Yeah, so there's like this focus on the sense of belonging that these new concepts are bringing forward. So guests are not just staying there, but they really live the experience of staying in a place and feel part of an environment which make them feel comfortable. We have seen many different concepts arising, and we were discussing also before with Thibault, for example. I'm mentioning you because you were bringing forward some examples that you think are really valuable. Do you have something to bring forward about it?
Yeah, I mean, like I echo as well Guillermo and what you mentioned, Silvia. The guest preferences have changed quite a lot, and we have seen the rise of Airbnb. So of course, hotels and new startups have tried to find some way to accommodate those new needs and expectation. And I think the hybrid models, it's exactly fit where it should be between the Airbnb, the full Airbnb, full service apartment experience, and the hotel experience. So that's a hybrid model is something which is very popular. And you have seen a lot of projects going up on the hybrid, such as Zoku, which is one of the biggest example in Europe. You have edyn, I don't know how to pronounce it, edyn. You have what else? You have Hotel and or Placemaker in the US, which as well have a lot of or Sonder. Sonder is also a massive one. And I love to see that model because they are very modular, very flexible with a different inventory, different tech, and different even physical space, because they will as well change their the number of rooms they are selling as an hotel room or the number of rooms they are selling as a service apartment, depending on the season. So sometimes like literally moving furniture from one month to another to select like 40% of the inventory will be sold as a long stay apartment and 60% as a hotel room. And then on high demand will be like 80% hotel room and 20% on service apartment. So having this kind of flexibility, I think it's crazy valuable, and I believe it made a big difference in the market. So those kind of new companies and those kind of new hybrid companies are definitely disrupting for good the space of the hospitality industry.
And it's a bit a nightmare for us revenue managing this kind of environment with fluid inventory. But we will go back later on. Did you have something to add, Anna?
Yes, I just wanted to say that it's amazing to see that new ideas coming on. So from the classic hotel accommodation stay into hybrid, and it is something for classic old hotels to actually look into and see what your guest wants, why they're staying with you. If you see like lots of people in your lobby networking, there may be a question that maybe I have to do something about it. So maybe I have a lot of business guests who wants to stay in my hotel, and I can create more revenue from that by creating additional space or changing my space into something different. But you have to really look into who is with you, why they're staying. You have to know your guests, and we talk about that over and over on Revenue Hacks pretty much like every week. Great to see. Excited for the other ideas from the team today.
Yeah, linking to your points, Anna, I pass then to Frank. Frank, you work for Visionapartments, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is that like Visionapartments is trying in a way to lure the traditional Airbnb guest by offering a bit of the best of both worlds? So you offer home-like accommodations, but at the same time, amenities, hotel-like amenities, and the convenience of a hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Visionapartment, we are actually striving to give our clients the comfort that they feel at home when they live with us. So we don't only offer them a fully furnished apartment, but we also offer them services like cleaning services, and which are always included. which are always included, so the guests can stay like very comfortably. And one more thing that we really try to incorporate right now, it's the styling of our apartments. At Vision Apartments, we have a variety of how can I put it, like a different architecture. So yeah, depending on the preference of the client. If the client wants something more traditional, something more natural, something looking more like a summer home, something like that. Yeah, we have those interior designs that we design according to their preference to make them feel more at home.
Can I jump on this one, because I find the concept actually quite cool in a way that you could be linking your CRM to the directly to the concept, and depending if it's Thibault staying or Silvia staying in a room, to have different artwork or different design based on my preferences. Is it right?
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
So depends mostly on your preference. That's why most of the client, when they stay with us for the first time, when they are coming back for the second time, they are like, okay, I want because we have a design called Cape Town, which is like an African design. They're like, okay, I want this specific design, an apartment with this design. We have Ibiza design. When guests are coming back now, they have a taste of what we offer, and they are coming back now with specific designs, like specific interior designs that they want, which is pretty interesting.
So
Really
actually, the
interesting.
concept of personalization is really at the core here, because when you were describing like I can choose in which kind of room to stay, which kind of style. It's really a kind of attribute-based selling, like where our hotel industry is going to, because you really focus on the guest wishes and expectations, which is great. So, Frank, you said, and this question is also for you, Guillermo. Then feel free everybody to jump in. But you both said that, Frank, in this case, you include cleaning services and everything in the apartment, so to create like a sort of a comfort that you will find in a hotel. But what about extra revenue streams? Is it something that you're focusing again targeting personalization? So do you offer extra services that the guests can purchase separately?
I think us as hospitality industry, we need to see that everything could be sold. It's just which is the right amount of money that you can ask for that, and how you will be able to manage the service. So yeah, we also offer some service, say from yoga, cultural activations, and any other that can create this environment that we focus in Eden as a soulful hospitality industry. So all that can create the value of the customer is things that we will evaluate to incorporate on the product, and the full will be tried to create accessible for them. And the important at the end will be the awareness, because you can have a product that really nice product, but maybe you don't have the opportunity of sell it because client even in-house is not aware of what you're doing.
I think we have some background noise.
I think it's brand, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
I think it was, okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's a mix of everything, and the concept of Frank is really interesting. But at the same time, I fully don't understand if you customize the room every time I guess is coming in out of the room, or you have different categories within the apartments, that you have different rooms categories that you offer to them. That would be my question also.
Oh yeah, okay. So we have, like you say, we already have the apartments. Like when we have a building, if we have a building, let's say we have a building in Zurich, so we have different apartment categories in the same building. We have studios, we have one bedroom, and we have two bedroom mostly. So what we do is for in the same building, we take a certain amount of studio, we give them a certain design. We take a certain amount of one bedroom, you give them a certain design. So in one building, you can have like a variety of designs. So we don't go and personalize the apartment when the client requests. We already have the apartment in their designs. We already have the design. So the client just need to mention to us that they need this design. Then we're gonna go in this building and we look for which apartment has this design and we give them the apartment.
And do you look for local partners? Because for us, for edyn, one of the things to engage the customer is to try to really focus in the local community and make them part of the project. And also this is really valued by the customers, that they see that there's this connection and engagement between local people and the building and their experience, for sure. So
Yeah, we always recently we opened a new building in Basel, and there was a huge party for the opening for locals to come in and go around and to experience to see the building. And also we offer this on request. We offer viewings for anybody, like potential client or not even a client. If you just want to see our apartment, if you're just curious and you want to see the designs, we can offer you a viewing, and we take you into one building and we show you the different designs.
So
I
the
I'm
have,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Apologies about the background noise. I think I'm still in the office with my colleagues.
Okay. no worries.
Okay. I was just wondering. We all know like the classic distribution channels within classic hotels. You know, they are chain or independent. We're quite straightforward. How do we do distribution? What is your take on distribution with the apartments? So one of the things I would see, and you mentioned, Guillermo, it's working with local community and making sure that you're very close. But how do you attract your guests? So companies, long-term contracts, what else?
I think it's all about segmentation, but Thibault, please go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
mean,
all the time.
that was one of my first question when we started to work with those kind of hybrid projects, because we can apply a lot of similarities with what we do with hotel when it comes to segmentation, when it comes to distribution, the regular OTA like Booking.com, Expedia, Airbnb, and so on. However, there is as well a big part which are linked to the service apartment and the longer stay, which are not mostly coming from those regular OTA. And we have found out that it mostly come from local DMCs or travel agents, mostly focusing on expat relocation or corporate long-term, because a lot of corporate are traveling from one destination to another, and they prefer to go with service apartment because they are sent to a destination for a few months. So that's great to find those kind of travel agents which are specialized in expat relocation or like corporate contract. So I would say like long stay segmentation for any type of hybrid hotels. I would say it's in around of 30% of the long stay. When I say long stay, it's 1 month plus. Then you have the medium, they call it short stay, but I call it medium stay, which are between 5 and 29 days. This one is around like 30%, I would say. So the rest, like which are hotel stay, which are on like 40%, is less than 5 days. So you can see like we can have different distribution channels for all those kind of things. But the biggest difference with what we usually do between hotels and hybrid, those kind of long stay, short stay, is mostly with the expat location and the local DMC travel agent.
It's more an offline channel kind of. They're coming offline actually, this demand. So it's really switch, going the opposite way like the world is going to, which is very interesting. Go ahead,
and
Guillermo.
website. The website, sorry, and one side is the website, and one of the biggest thing when we decide to connect a channel or not is ability to contact the guest beforehand, because most of the time they cannot do any check-in and they need to contact the guest in advance to let them know when they can do the check-in or give the key to the guest. And some OTA you cannot reach a guest before you arrive. And so that's kind of remove some OTA on distribution. Go ahead, Guillermo. Sorry to interrupt.
No. Fully agree, Thibault. I think this hybrid model has shown us that we need to tap in a lot of different segments and to try to understand how they behave. And it's so important the distribution side of it. and understanding with our good partners. But it's true that a lot of business is coming offline, and that therefore is going in other direction. But I believe that because of this model is new, this new distributor partner were never able to engage that many of that volume of business before. And I think they will be evolving as time goes, as they will have more resources and more revenue to implement IPs and connectivity, and they will follow the key of Airbnb. We all know that even Airbnb being one of the biggest ones, still have the just one rate possible connection, what for a revenue point of view is a nightmare. So it's the opposite that you're looking, but you can say that the biggest longest stay partner provider has some challenge already. So yeah, it's really interesting, the area of the distribution for the remote and how to evaluate it is also really good that you mentioned these three kind of stays and evaluation of the business model. And do you evaluate also the GOP when you cut these customers by length of stay?
It has to, because as we discussed offline, the short, maybe like the short stay will yield a better ADR, but they will yield maybe a higher cost because you need to turn around and you need to have more housekeeping. While if you go with a long term, you may have less ADR, less yield, but more costs associated to it. So I think it's very important to look not only at the Revpar, but to look at your net Revpar and to look at your conversion when you do your three different segmentation on your hybrid. So I'm not saying like it's one or another. I think it's both. We need to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also depends what kind of outlets you have in addition to it. As I understand, edyn, your aparthotels, do they have like add-on restaurants, spas, gyms, networking spaces, and everything else? So that all goes into it. When if you don't have that, then you purely look at your bottom line without the ancillaries.
Yeah. Fully agree. With edyn, or what we tried to do was we have different brands. So we have Locke, Cove, and Sacco, and the three of them are targeting kind of a specific customer and different value, say more corporate, more lifestyle, and more transient and so on. So it's how you can create the product more specific for the market segment, but is adding all this value of a swimming pool to the right customer, or the restaurant to the right customer, that maybe a corporate that they don't want it or don't value, rather value more the comfortable having a good kitchen. That will be.
Perfect.
Regarding technology, how much is technology important in these new kind of hybrid models? As we mentioned earlier, like for example, for the check-in process, automatic check-in, and the connections with the guests, how do we get in touch with them? And the one question that was before also coming from the people listening was there, coming from Custodio, think, how are you bringing your employees into this guest journey to ensure your properties meet the guest expectations? So is it like training? Is it through technology?
Thibault, you want to go?
Yes, I can jump in. I think like the tech stack that you are deploying in those kind of hybrid models are super duper important, mostly because some of those hybrid buildings don't have any reception, so you need to automate as much as possible. But when you bring those kind of technology with your employees, it's very important to have the right automation. So I would say like the cloud-based PMS is the number one. We have deployed a lot of hybrid model on Apaleo or on Muse, because mostly they are well connected with API and with different third parties and the automation as well. But I'm quite sure all the PMS will be the right fit. But automation is the number one, and as well having those kind of element of connection between the staff knowing how to use the CRM, because CRM is one of the biggest elements that you will see on the hybrid models, as you mentioned, Frank, and as well on Guillermo in edyn. Making sure you accommodate the guest and the request and each expectation of each guest. All those kind of information, you can find them on the PMS, but they're much more granular and much more important on the CRM and much more detail on the CRM. But now you need to make sure your staff know to use the CRM and they use the CRM. Because I've seen some companies, they have super great, fantastic CRM with a lot of data, but they don't even look at it because it's an extra step from the PMS to the CRM. So it's very important that you make sure and you reinforce this practice and SOP and processes to make sure every time you have a new journey, people look at your arrival list, expectations, so on. And every time you do a check-in, you also look at the CRM at the same time. You will see a lot of valuable information to cross information between your PMS and your CRM. That will be super important for the hybrid models.
Yeah, fully reachable. But the thing is, like, maybe local team base is a little bit busy with the operation daily, and maybe you need like a specific team that focuses in evaluating this data and creating the right opportunity, and then they will forward to front office to try to accommodate the guests, as maybe Fran was saying about creating the same room that they had before or the same value. We can see that in big chains as Rosewood, that they work as this. They actually, one of the values of Rosewood is that they customize the rooms with photos and any other things that the customer want to have, even maybe they choose and whatever thing. We're talking about 5 luxury stuff, but if we can provide the same service in a 4-star hybrid model, happy days. Is going to be an no-brainer for the customer to be able to receive that. And yeah, I don't know, Anna, maybe you're signing off.
I just wanted to add on IT bit of it, and especially probably, I don't know, people, if it's a surprise for you or not, especially for business customers, and when I travel, I can't log in to internet if it's a public network. Please make sure you do secure networks for your guests as well. And I just hysterical how many hotels don't do it. And you go to sharing spaces as well. Well, I tried one a couple of weeks ago, and they don't have secure internet. So there is no chance I will log in with my work laptop to it. So if you are into IT, please make sure that you do your basics right, regardless, hybrid, normal hotel, just co-working space or anything, because that's the basic that we will tap into.
Absolutely. For sure, from my point of view, hybrid hotels and this kind of accommodations are the future, and the more and more hotels are adapting to this trend. We have seen chains are investing in extended stays. We have seen it with Marriott, we have seen it with Accor. So they are already diversifying their target customers to move to that direction. And the opportunities behind are huge, because we have talked a lot about personalization and technology during this life. And also, if we think about the example that Thibault wrote of hotels that are adapting their inventory based on the demand, that's a crazy thing. If you think we will get crazy as revenue managers about optimizing a fluctuating inventory. It's something that has never been there. And it's really something that maybe might happen in the future. I don't know what's your point on that, but should we really start thinking forward about a fully dynamic inventory we are going to revenue manage in the next, let's say, 10 years?
I just have a thought on that. So I think, first of all, depending on the business model, of course. So if we go hybrid, yes, 100%, that's the future. If you stay with your classic hotel model, then I would say it's better to do what you know and what you can do your best before you try to implement 20 different types of inventory management. So if your classic hotel, that you stick on with your luxury service and you know your guest, don't really bother. If you really want to go into it, yes, 100% to go and play with your inventory, and you always try, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You always can say, I did try and it doesn't work. But if you want to go into that market,
better be ready. Ready. Any final thought from Frank and Guillermo before we wrap up?
I would say, and I agree, but at the same time, I don't fully agree, because maybe if you are a big chain that you just want to implement the same product, but just as the view of trying to grow with the same static model, yeah. But if these same chains has seen that they're trying to go into long stay, it's because they seen that they share they losing a share of the market because of not being able to customize, and maybe just trying to spend so wide as an investment perspective, rather than create a personal value that maybe customer before was different, but they need to adapt with the current evolution and the customization. But I think that at the moment we have a lot of challenge as a distribution point, even with your own PMS is still something that sometimes is not feasible to do it, and all this total revenue management and how industry is at the moment is really stopped due to the technology providers that are not able to give us what we want. They have a lot of APIs, yes, but they don't provide the service fully integrated and being able to sell by a space, whatever you want to sell, a room in the a chair in the co-working, or a room in your room. So
that's true. That's a challenge, Frank.
Yeah. I just wanted to add to what Anna said already. There's always room to try to I don't know how can I put it, to try new concepts, to try to personalize, to try to customize according to the client's request. And I think if like she said, there's no harm in trying it. If you try and it works out for you, and you can just continue with the same thing. But if what you have already, it's working out really great, yeah, you can just proceed with it. Yeah. For example, for Vision, I can say, for example, Vision already has so many different apartment designs, and but the thing is, whenever we buy a new building, we always try something else. Yes, whenever we buy a new building, we try something else, and sometimes it works out. Yeah, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So, but it doesn't hurt that much to try.
That's the most important thing, right? Always try something new and always try to innovate. That's the only way to progress.
Yeah.
So that's great. One final thought, Thibault, then we wrap up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, hybrid model is fantastic. I think the future of the hospital industry, as you mentioned, from a revenue management perspective, it's a nightmare. Mostly, I had air before the hybrid models, to be frank. But I think like it's a future, and I think it's a popular trend which is coming full blast in the next few months and the next few years. Now the hotel tech industry is not 100% ready for this. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up with this. Practices, revenue management, all this needs to catch up as well with this new trend, because it's 100% the future. Yes, selling pricing, adjustment. I love what you just mentioned, Frank, about being agile, because the hybrid model, that's exactly an answer from this kind of new mindset of being agile, trying different approaches, trying different physical inventory. So this agile mindset, I think, has been the biggest takeaway of the pandemic, and that's here to stay. And the hybrid models will continue and go full blast. We just need, as an industry, to evolve and develop alongside, because today we're not 1% here.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. It was great to have you all on board today. Really, really great insights. And I want to thank you also the people that were connected live and those who will listen. And for now, it's a goodbye. See you next week with another great episode of Revenue Hacks. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
My words will never ever leave you in doubt. I don't see what all the fuss is about. I didn't know I had to watch my tongue. Now you know that I'm alone with God. Yeah, you know it's true. I'm too taboo.